So as we all know, cameras and phones are getting extremely good. Some are shooting 4K, well, I mean, hopefully all of them are shooting 4K 60. Some of them even 8K at 15 frames per second, which isn't really usable. So let's just stick to 4K 60. Now, when shooting at these high frame rates and high resolutions, most phones only use optical image stabilization. They do not use digital image stabilization, which is fine, but we honestly want the best of everything. So if we want both digital and optical image stabilization, we have to go down to 1080p. And what is this, 2006? No, I want to use 4K 60 and optical, digital, everything. I want to use future stabilization, but I can't do that. Well, you can if you have a gimbal. Yeah, a gimbal, the thing that looks like a piece of alien technology. And to someone who doesn't know what it is, this looks like a kitchen utensil. If you take off the phone, obviously. Not with the phone. With the phone, it looks just weird, right? It looks like alien. It doesn't look normal. It just looks weird, right? But it works. But a gimbal provides pretty much three axes of stabilization. You got this type of stabilization, right? You got this one, and then you also got this stabilization. I think we all know what a gimbal is, right? Now the cool thing about this particular one, the G6 Plus, is that it's small enough to hold a GoPro, but large enough to hold the camera that I'm using right now, the Sony a6400, which is a mirrorless camera. So for a gimbal to be as universal as this is incredible. This thing keeps spinning around. I can't. I need to put it down. Now setting this thing up is super easy. You just put in the phone adapter, put the phone in, turn it on, boom, good to go. Kinda, not really. You still do need to stabilize the actual gimbal even when it's off. So as I mentioned before, this thing has three axes of stabilization. This one right here, you got this one, and then the actual bottom piece right here. You need to stabilize them so it's not doing this, because if I let go, it's primarily going to return to the same place as it was. And then same thing with this. If I let it go, it's roughly going to end up at the same place as it is, right? So it's not doing this, it's not doing this, it's not doing this, it's not doing this. It's just kind of balanced, right? You need to do that, which takes literally like 25 seconds, 30 seconds tops. A minute if you only have one hand. 2 minutes if you're using your feet. Once you got that going on, you just click and hold the power button, you wait for this alien piece of thing to make a noise, which it just did, and that's it. And now you got a very stable phone slash GoPro slash mirrorless camera. Now this dial right here has multiple uses. You guys probably didn't know that, did you? If you connect it to your camera via Bluetooth or via Wi-Fi, you can actually use this to either follow focus or zoom in. So you don't actually have to zoom in on your camera or follow focus on your camera. You just use this little dial right here. But if you're using a phone, just click and hold the dial and it'll go into gimbal settings. So now you can actually turn it and it will control the pan of the phone. It can also control the roll of the phone, and it can also control the tilt. Now you can pretty much do the same thing with this little thumbstick right here. You can also control the pan, the tilt, but if you use the dial, it's going to be much more kind of accurate because you can actually, dial it in. I mean, that's literally the name, it's a dial. So you can dial it in perfectly and precisely to how you like it. Now, if connected to Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, there's also a power or a record button there, so you don't actually have to click record on your camera or even your phone. You just download their application and you're good to go. Now this gimbal is splash proof, so if you take it on Thunder Mountain, or wait, no, that's not a water ride, is it? Let's pretend it is. If you take it on Thunder Mountain, this thing will be okay. Just make sure your phone or camera or GoPro or whatever you got on there, it is waterproof as well, because you don't want that to die. Now this thing is pretty lightweight as well. This only weighs 1.5 pounds. So if you have connected to your camera or your phone in particular, you don't really feel any weight. It's just so lightweight. You can run with it, you can jog with it, whatever you want to do with it. Just don't let it go because it will break. And again, you can use a mirrorless camera with it. The perfect ones are honestly You're gonna be your Sony RXs or your like the one I'm using right now, the A6400, the 6500, the 6300, the 6000, the 5000 series. Just pretty much those types of cameras. Or if you want to just make things simple, phone. So enough talk, let's see how this thing works. So this is what it looks like when I'm walking with 4K 60. It looks all right. So I'm just gonna turn around. I'm gonna do a little speed walk. And this is what it looks like. So now I am using a gimbal and I'm walking 4K 60 with the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. Let me know how this guy's looks like. What? That makes no sense. Let me know what this guy's looks like. Do I know English? Apparently not. But this is what it looks like. I'm gonna do a little speed run or speed walk. And it looks really stable to me. I don't know about you guys. Now I'm doing front-facing camera video test. Again, handheld, no gimbal, no nothing, just walking. Now I'm doing a little speed walking. The front camera stabilization is pretty good already on the what is this thing called? The S10 Plus. I have so many phones I forget. So the front camera stabilization is pretty good already. So let's see how much better it can get with the gimbal. Now this is the front-facing video test. Holding the camera or holding the gimbal in my left hand. If I switch to my right hand, I am more centered into the frame because, you know, the camera is offset on the Galaxy. I keep forgetting the name of the phone. What's wrong with me? But this is what it looks like. Front camera test. I'm gonna do a little speed walk. Oop, my pan is off center. But this is what it looks like, a little speed walk going on. I got people looking at me. Hi, help me. I think this looks insanely smooth. You can definitely vlog with this. Yeah, look at that. I can do all the controls and everything. I am digging this. So there you guys have it. It's a universal gimbal. You got 9 hours of battery life. It's splash proof. It's lightweight. You can use a multitude of cameras on it. Phones, gimbal. Oh, no, you can't use a gimbal with another gimbal, Mark. What are you doing? You can use a lot of things with it. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, you guys know me. I'm not going to recommend stuff that I don't like. Usually, if I don't like something, I'm going to say it, and you guys know that by now, hopefully. But this one, I really do recommend, especially for the price. I mean, there are other companies out there that are making like GoPro gimbals, just GoPro. You can't put a phone on it or a camera on it. Just a GoPro gimbal that costs the same as this one. And this one, you can use GoPros that are not just a GoPro, but similar design as a GoPro. You can use pretty much any kind of cell phone you can think of. And you can use a mirrorless camera up to 1.75 pounds. And this thing only costs $270. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money, but think about all the things you can do with it. So guys, if this looks good, if this looks like something you want, or maybe you just want more info on it, be sure to click the link in the description. You'll find tons more information. Probably more information than I didn't even say in this video because I totally forgot. Thanks for watching. This was Mark from Mark's Tech, obviously, and adios.